Why is your program so successful?
So AA has reportedly a less than 10% success rate if you gauge success in terms of helping someone to have long-term power over drinking. There was a book called The Sober Truth in 2012 by Dr. Lance Dodds, who worked out of Harvard's McLean Hospital. And he described AA's actual success rate as one of the worst in medicine. Now, that is not to say that it hasn't helped tens of millions of people. It absolutely has. But according to studies, it's been ineffective for 10 times as many people who've tried it. Willpower is probably the least effective strategy for trying to stop drinking.
White knuckling it. Yeah.
White knuckling it, willpower, motivation. A lot of studies suggest that has also a less than 10% success rate. And if you're someone who's ever tried to do moderation or dry January or sober October, you may have had some success. But when you do those challenges or you do moderation, again, it feels painful. You'd rather be drinking, which is why when you get to day 30 on those 30-day challenges, most people tend to celebrate with what? A drink.
Yes.
Because they associate not drinking with being in a prison.
Totally.
And what do all prisoners want to do? They want to get out of prison, right?
Yes.
So AA, rehab as well, very, very low success rate, less than 10%, and willpower and white knuckling at less than 10%. I have a program called Project 90. In 2022, the University of Washington conducted a scientific study on our stop drinking process. We use neuroscience, we use positive reinforcement, positive psychology. And the results of that was a 98% reduction in drinking from the study participants. Now, I can't compare it apples for apples because the less than 10% success rate for AA is judged over the course of at least a year, whereas our program was judged over 90 days. So it's not an exact comparison. However, a 98% reduction in drinking for a stop drinking program is profound. In fact, one of the world's leading addiction experts, Professor David Bellin out of Cambridge University, he read through the study and he described it as groundbreaking. Now, why is it so successful? There's a few reasons. In AA, for example, which is the traditional modality, and with white knuckling it and willpower, it's hard. It's tough. You're lamenting the past. You're thinking about what's wrong. You're making amends. In AA, you're surrendering to a higher power. You're working a 12-step program. And candidly, when you go to an AA meeting, you're probably sitting next to someone that you have absolutely nothing in common with. Nobody who's like in their 40s, 50s, 60s wanting to stop drinking alcohol really desires to sit next to a 19-year-old meth addict who's holding up a gas station. Now, of course, we support that person, but how can you relate to their life experience? It's completely different. So in our program, we put a bunch of like-minded people together. So it's not a community, it's a like-minded community. So we put together high achievers, executives, CEOs, business owners, salespeople, physicians, attorneys, lawyers, doctors. You'd be shocked at how many doctors have a bad relationship with alcohol. It's frightening. And we put them in a community and then we give them positive reinforcement and we show them what they're choosing. We invite them to choose an alcohol-free lifestyle as opposed to saying no to alcohol. So when we focus on what we want and what is desirable and what is fun, as opposed to focusing on what we don't want, which is painful, the mind and the body can head in this direction easily. There's a lot of study of neuroscience that shows that if you tell yourself not to do something, you tend to do that very thing. For example, if you're skiing down a mountain and you're saying to yourself, don't steer towards the trees or don't fall over, you tend to steer towards the trees and fall over. But why? Because you're telling yourself what not to do. And it's because what we understand about the human brain now is that the brain doesn't understand the don't do this. It only understands trees fall down. So over here in an alcohol-free lifestyle, we say to them, no longer will you say, don't drink, I need to stop, I have to quit, I've got to be sober. Instead, we say, I'm only going to drink soda water, ice, and a piece of lime tonight. I'm going to walk up to the bar and confidently order a soda water with a splash of cranberry juice. I love going to sleep being alcohol-free. I love the feeling when I wake up in the morning having drunk soda water at dinner the night before. I'm choosing to get up in the morning and have appreciation instead of expectation. So we're choosing over here. And that encourages a group of people who are like-minded to have a common goal or heading in a common direction. And that is a heck of a lot easier than don't drink, I need to stop, I've got to be sober, oh, I've got a problem with alcohol. That keeps you stuck in the past and candidly keeps you stuck drinking. This creates a new habit, a new way of thinking with positive psychology, new healthy habits, gratitude, sunlight, walking, mobility, focusing on a great night's sleep, conscious communication, personal development, growth mindset. Now we're heading towards this direction. And now the consequence of that is we're alcohol free.
Wow. And I got to imagine that it does not take but a day or two for people to be like, this is a completely different lens that I'm looking at the world through. And so then that just begets more like, I don't want to say compliance, but more just going towards those things that you want.
Yes. It's just smooth sailing the whole way. It's like, where are we going? We're going here. Okay, great. As opposed to, oh, where do we not want to go? Okay, don't go that way. Don't go that way.
Right.
Oh, why are we going this way?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
It's so, it just gets into our field. The don't, you're right. I can totally sense that. It's like, don't go to the bar. Don't look at the alcohol. It's just those words, bar, alcohol, are just spinning in your mind.
Yes. Yeah. And also, I would submit when we focus too much on the past and we're lamenting in the past, as you do a lot in AA, it keeps us stuck in an identity.
Okay, so this is, I've never sat in those meetings, but the thing that I've never been able to wrap my head around is, hi, my name is Cal and I'm an alcoholic. I mean, just grounding into that identity. And it just seems like so outdated.
There are millions of people walking around mistakenly believing that they are an alcoholic. You are not an alcoholic. In fact, in the modern world, in modern medicine, the term alcoholic no longer exists. It's now alcohol use disorder. Okay. Now, for years, it was, I'm an alcoholic. I experience alcoholism. Alcoholism runs in my family. But in modern medicine, that is gone. It's gone. And why? Because it keeps people stuck in an identity that doesn't serve them. You are not an alcoholic. You may be experiencing an alcohol use disorder, but that's temporary. Whereas I'm an alcoholic suggests, oh, I'm a victim of this disease. I'm powerless over this disease, which is what they do in AA. Cal, I would submit you never wanted to walk into an AA meeting and say, hi, my name's Cal and I'm an alcoholic. And that probably didn't resonate with you. Even if you were drinking too much for an extended period of time, saying I'm an alcoholic still doesn't resonate with you. And yet people are mistakenly believing that they are, being stuck in that identity and therefore taking actions which perpetuate this, I'm a victim, I'm stuck, I can't drink, I need to stop. And then of course that becomes easier then to drink.